Hello everyone, this is Nizam Mahmood. Welcome to my video. In this video, I will discuss Unix operating system and most useful Unix command and utilities that is in use in our day-to-day IT practice. On this video series, there are two video, Unix Bootcamp Part 1 and Unix Bootcamp Part 2. I already published Unix Bootcamp Part 1. On that particular video, I discuss how to install Unix operating system and there are two options I showed. One using the Windows feature called WSL, Windows Subsystem for Linux. So on our Windows laptop using WSL feature, how we can build and configure a Unix system. And then second option, I also showed how I can build a Unix machine using a cloud platform. In this case, we used AWS platform. So I highly recommend to watch that video so that easily you can build your own lab platform to do the practice. In this particular video, Unix Bootcamp Part 2, I'll discuss more advanced level Unix commands and utilities. And finally, I'll discuss Unix shell script that is very much needed. So let's start. So these are some advanced level commands today we are going to discuss. Awk command, tar command. So basically, awk command, this command is a kind of a substitute. Like if I create a file, from that file, I want to extract some parameter or some string or some data, awk command is very much useful. But this, especially that if I am a programmer, if I want to run a program or I want to develop some script, awk command is very much useful. It is almost similar like a cut command in video one that I will discuss. Let's assume, I have a file called inventory. In that file, I keep, let's say, 5,000 my customer information. And then I want there are, let's say, 5 columns. Column number A equal name, then phone number, like address, email address, etc. So each column contain those information, just like a Microsoft Excel type of format. Now if I want, I want column number 1 and column number 2, or column number 2 or column number 4, etc. Awk command is very much useful to accomplish that type of goal. And similarly, like a tar also another command. It is also very useful command. Normally, it is a compress and uncompress. If you compare with our Windows platform, when you download some big file from internet, it is a zip format. So when it is downloaded to our Windows system, we normally unzip it and then we install it. So the idea is that if I want to copy some big files or a huge number of files, and each of file has a size is big, so we can compress everything, put it under a zip file, and then copy from one folder to another folder, or copy file from one location to another location. Let's say as in one computer to another computer as an example. So this type of scenario, tar is very much useful. So let's start the lab. So if you so last class we showed you that how to build a machine on AWS. So I believe that machine is still running. So let me go there. Yeah. So this is my machine. You see the public IP is now this one. So now if I copy this public IP, and then if I open the MOVA, the software that I install, the SSH client software. And then using this, if I click the session, SSH, and I type that public IP, and by default Ubuntu user ID equal to Ubuntu, right? And then advanced SSH connection, use private key. I have a key here, and my key equal to ubuntu.pem. I open it and then click OK. If everything is okay, I should be able to connect to that machine. So let's say here you go. So now I have connected from my Windows machine to that server that I provision in the AWS server. I mean the platform. So now what I do, I sudo space -s. I make myself as a root. Here you go. So these are the basic command we learned in the video one. pwd present working directory, and then ls command showing the all kind of files or folder in my this present directory. So for this lab purpose, let's say I create a new lab folder called md, let's say lab3. Oops, I believe mkdir, sorry, my bad, it is md actually, and dos command, so I just messed up. Yeah, so lab3. So mkdir is a command which is created directory called lab3. I go to cd lab3, right? I'm there. So let's say I'm now creating a new file called nano, let's say inventory .txt. And then now I type, okay, name, let's say now phone number, and now let's say, the location or maybe email, and let's say location. So let's say Diana, phone number 1234556, email equal to Diana at abc.com, and the location equal to, let's say, New York. Then Mike, email, phone number this, then Mike, just create some demo file here just for demo purpose, abc.com, location equal to, let's say, Virginia, right? So this way we create our database here. Let's assume that I have now 5,000 data here in this file. So I press Ctrl X to save the file. Yes. So now clear the screen, then cat inventory .txt. It is showing me the data, right? The 4 column, as you can see here. Okay, great. So now I want to let's say the cat command, like a cat command that we learned before. So in cat inventory .txt, then I use pipe command, then I say cut minus F1 and 2. So what it does, it cat command open the inventory file, inventory.txt file, and then cut command goes there and say, okay, I want to pick up field number 1. F means field or column, field 1 and 2. So this is a nice command, and you can see it shows you now name and phone number, right? If you say, okay, I want 1 and 4, it will show you the name and location column. So this is very useful, especially when I run the command, like I write a program. I want to cut some specific string from some output. And also another nice feature is the piping, right? So piping, the first command is cat and second command is cut. So for, the output of the first command will be the input of the second command. So similar idea, we can use the awk command. So awk, if you want to see the man command, like manual man, if you want to see what is details about the awk command, so now you see that it is a kind of a manual, right? I highly recommend to read this manual. And that's the beauty of Unix. Every command, you do not need to read any books or anything. The command itself has a details manual, and how to open that manual, type a man and that command, right? It will show you the details. So now if I say awk, and let's say there is a syntax like this. So let's say I can print, and then my file name equal to inventory, right? Inventory. Make sure that I'm not a spelling mistake. .txt. So now you can see it is almost similar idea. That awk command, the print, I didn't put any parameter here though. But now if I say, if I want to put a value here, so let's say $0. So $0 basically I'm telling, okay, show me everything under that inventory.txt file. Print means display everything on inventory.txt. If I say, okay, I want to see only column number 1, comma, column number 2, it will give you the column 1 and 2. So similar idea in the cut command, but in the cut we use F, parameter minus F, right? Here we show $1, $2, this way. So $1, the first argument, the second $2 means second argument, etc. So almost similar, like a same concept, the cut and awk. So this is any type of like a Unix type of, especially when we develop this script or program, this both command is very much useful. Okay, so let's move on. Okay, so then we talk about, okay, let's talk now tar command. So to do the tar command here, so let's see how many file I have here. Okay, I have ls command. So let's create some more file here. I type host name. So host name is like when I type host name, it shows me as you can see, the name of the computer, host names. And then if I type ifconfig command, it will show me the IP address of this. Look, this is the 172 IP address on my system. It shows me that IP address, right? So now, one of the nice thing of here, let's say I want to create a file with the output of a command. I just write redirect and just type ip.txt. So it created a file called ip.txt. Look, it doesn't show me any output here because the output now I redirect to a file. In other words, I create a new file called ip.txt with the output of ifconfig command. Same thing, host name. So if I say host name, then redirect host.txt. So now if you type ls command, you see right now, I have multiple file under my lab3 folder. So if I want to say, okay, cat ip.txt, it shows me this is the file under ip.txt, right? So now, so let's say I want to zip it up. I want to compress everything here. So to do this thing, I can use thing called tar command. Tar, let's say minus x cvf. C means compress. And what file I want to, and give a name. So this can, let's say this, I can give any name. Let's say in this case, I say lab3.tar, right? I want to copy everything under lab3.tar. And what file? I say, okay, start.txt. All the txt file on my current location, you copy everything under and compress it under lab3.tar file. So now if I type ls, you can see it create a new file called lab3.tar. Okay. So let's say this file I want to copy to another folder. So let me see how many folders. I go one step back, cd space dot dot ls. So let's say I have a folder called lab1, right? Maybe I can create a new folder. Let's say make directory backup. Okay. Now I want to copy this tar file from lab3 folder to backup folder. So what I do, copy, and my tar file is under this location, right? So I maybe copy this whole path here. This is my source. So I'm telling computer, okay, copy from lab3, copy my lab3.tar file to where my destination. My destination will be here, so under Ubuntu, and then I create a folder here called backup, I guess, right? Backup. Okay, let's see what happened. Here you go. So now I copy the tar lab3.tar file to backup folder. So now if I go to cd backup, I should see that file is there. Here you go. So now file is there. Let's say I, somehow I download or I copy this file to here. Now I want to extract it. So again, tar space minus xvf. So cvf means compress and xvf, x means extract. Extract the file. What is the name of the file? lab3.tar. Okay. And now if you type ls, you see now before ls has only one file, like under lab backup folder, right? Now you see that all the file is now under this backup location as well. So this is the beautiful scenario that we need to use. So let's assume this thing. I download a file from internet and it is a compressed file. I need to uncompress it. So how to do that from the real world point of view? So let's say if I go to internet, maybe I can, let's say, okay, so maybe I can download a file, any file, like maybe Apache Tomcat or something, right? So let's say download Maven. Maven is a software that to help the DevOps environment to build the software called Maven, very widely used software. So let's say this is Maven. I go to their website, Apache Maven. I go to download folder, and you can see the binary tar. Look, this is the tar link they have, right? This, if you want to download, you just click it here. So what I do, I right click And look, there is a thing, copy link address. So I just copy the address. Now go back to my Ubuntu machine. So I type here, let's say clear screen, and now say, so there is another utility I can download from internet, any link, any data. Let's say the file is sitting down in the GitHub repository, or in this case, file is sitting down in the download folder of app, like Maven website. So I said wget. So wget is a very nice utility. That means wget, like a download, like a download the data. And then now if I right click my mouse, automatically it will be that link that I copied from that internet location, right? So I just right click here. You see there is a copy link address. So once I copy this link address and now press enter, now if I type ls command, look, it is downloaded. Look, this file. So this is my, like a kind of a compressed file here, or at the end you see the .tar.gz, something like that, right? So I want to extract it. So tar minus xvf, and I copy that file here. Here you go. Now if I type ls, now you can see that this file extracted as a new file called this one, Apache Maven some number. So if I now cd this file and type ls, you see a lot of files underneath. So this is a beautiful, like a practical example of the tar file, tar command, right? So we can extract, we can compress. Okay, let's move on. What is the next command? So the next are like a service command, SSH command. So these are service command again. So if I, when I download something, sometimes service maybe stop. So I need to start the service. I need to, stop the service. So this is a service command user. So let's say in this case, if I say service SSH, I have a service called SSH, and I want to see the status. So you can see that in this status, it is running. You see that it is starting, it is success, it is enabled, it is active and running, right? So if I want to see some service, so then it is started and it is running. So now, so this is another nice features that we can. So if I say, let's say if I want to stop this service. So if I want to stop this service, if I just type here stop, it will stop. I'm not going to stop it, because if I stop it, then I'll lose the connection now, right? Because I connected to Amazon server using SSH, right? So this is, and if I want to start it, I just start it. Okay. So service is a command to like a start and stop, or start any kind of daemon or service in the Unix system. There is another similar called systemctl. The systemctl, let's say status SSH. So if type same idea, look, systemctl, okay, tell me what is the status of SSH daemon or a SSL like a utility. So it says, so you say they're active running. Okay. So service and systemctl, same idea. If we want to stop a service or start a service or see the status of that service, we use either of this command. Okay. So what next? Then we have SSH. So I already said SSH is also another way. We're already using the MOBA. So if you open the MOBA, this is the MOBA, like a software. So if you open MOBA or PuTTY, let's say I have PuTTY as well. So PuTTY, this is actually SSH type of client software. So yeah, I can type the host name here, port number 22, right? You see this is the SSH tunnel. If I click OK, if everything is okay, I should be able to connect to an SSH connect system. Or I can just type it manually as well. So if you go to the here and look, there is a connect button here, right? So if you click connect here, and then you see there is a SSH client, you can also directly type this command SSH space -i, then you PEM file, then Ubuntu user ID at your which target computer. If you type all those things, it should connect. But in this case, as it is a PEM file, PEM is a kind of a secure private key. So in this case, you have to do some extra work to connect it from the command prompt. So if you open let's say I want to connect from the cmd file. So if I type SSH, it will work if I keep that parameter. But in this case, it will not work, because the PEM file, I have to convert PEM file to some other format. otherwise because it is a certificate, so Windows will not allow me to connect it. So that's why we use some like a additional software called Ubuntu, like a this mobile extra. It's a very customized type of software, or even if I want, I can use even PuTTY software as well. So SSH, PuTTY, MOBA, these are the same technique. They are using the SSH protocol to connect to a target Unix machine. Okay, so these are the protocol. Okay, we talk about hostname ifconfig ping command. Ping command is another useful command to check the health check. Let's assume that in the real world I have 1,000 server. Most of the server in the cloud, as I mentioned in video 1. That cloud means virtualization, and all are virtual, sitting down in the cloud or maybe on-prem. But how I know those server is active or it is maybe not shut down. So to check the status, I just send a ping command, ping and the IP address of that computer. So if I get a reply, so let's say in this case, oops, just clear command. So if I say ping and let's say my local host, if I get a reply, that means computer is telling me, hey, I'm alive, I'm still up and running. If I say not reachable or there is no response from the server, that means that server either shut down or some technical problem over there, right? So this is the ping command, is a very nice and useful command to check the health status. Okay. So Control C, if you type it, it will terminate that session. Okay. So what next? Then NS lookup. So NS lookup also another nice command. It is a DNS query. So as you know that computer, when they communicate each other, they use IP address. When we say server 1, server 2, this is actually for the human name. If I type facebook.com, cnn.com, these are all for our human understanding, but actually computer communicate each other by IP address. So DNS is a service which convert computer name into IP address. So that's why NS lookup is a DNS query. It is a DNS command. I'm asking, hey, give me the IP address, let's say call www.google.com as an example. So now it asks his DNS server and he say, hey, look, he said these are the possible IP address of the Google server, google.com. So the NS lookup, that's the way it is designed. Any possible domain name or application name, if you type that URL, it will show you that information in the internet. There is another feature like this is very widely featured. So let me show you another technique. So let's say if we go to the internet here, let me make it down this browser. So, okay, so, oops. So I open my browser and here, so let's say if I go to www.google.ca, so there is a site called Dig Web Interface. There are a lot of this type of utilities available in the internet. So if you go to, again, actually they are kind of like NS lookup type of query. So if I click this button, oops, why it's not opening? Just give me 1 sec. It's supposed to be open. Let me close a lot of, maybe my computer got a little hung up here. Okay. Try again, Dig Web Interface. Right, if I just type this one, here you go, and just type like this. It is coming, but it is for some reason is maybe that website is slow. So if I go to that website and just type, let's say facebook.com, cnn.com, whatever domain name I'm interested, it will open that in and it tell you the IP address, or from the command prompt, because we are command guru, right? CLI, we can hear it. It takes some time for some reason. Maybe that website is slow right now. So if I type, let's say cnn.com as an example, and if I say dig means NS lookup. So if I dig, it's supposed to give me the IP address of that particular information. Again, I think this website for some reason is slow, but if when it is completed at the bottom, it will show you what is the IP address. But again, I don't need, I have now command line utility. I said NSLOOKUP, and then, so NSLOOKUP has two functions. I can give him the IP address. I say, okay, I know the IP address, but I do not know the domain name, like FQDN, fully qualified domain name. Or I know the name, domain name, but I do not know the IP address. So in both cases, NSLOOKUP will query against of the DNS server and provide me that information. Okay. Okay, let's move on. So we talk about trace route, again, same idea. So trace route, let's say from let's say this way, CD. I just go one step back because I'm still other folder. So let's say it's a trace route. Oops, make sure it is one word, trace route. Let's say www.google.com. I want to say, hey, what is the hop between my computer and the Google server? Definitely, there in the middle there are a lot of other servers, some routers, some switches, etc. So now it will tell you, look here, it tell you, oh, okay, you have so many middlemen here. You see, altogether 30 hop max, and it's 1, 2, 3, 4. So he say, yeah, I found Google when I complete ultimately 22. After 22 try, I found the Google server. And in the middle, between your computer and Google server, in the middle, there are lots of other routers or other server, and each of them has information here, like IP address. So this is again, it is mostly used by the troubleshooting point of view, like a network administrator or maybe a database administrator or firewall administrator. They use this type of command. So what we learn here, like a networking related, host name provide me the host of the name of the computer. ifconfig command show me the IP address of the computer. Then we also type ping command would show me to check the connectivity check from the another remote server, whatever it is alive or not, it is up and running or not, and like a ping command will give me that information. And then trace route command is the command that we want to view what is the between the source and the target, how many middle services or middle devices or middle like a device. When I say device, it means routers, switches, etc. How many devices, and each of them, what is their IP address? Okay, so this another command is called netstart. This is also a like a network related netstart space -a. If you type this command here, it will give you the look very nicely. It shows you that how many port is connected. How many port. Look, some port are listening, some port are connected. So if you go here, like a prototype, a flag type, state connected versus listening, and the port number and the path. So now, which port is in use, which port is listening, I can easily understand. Sometimes you say, oh, you cannot install it. Why? Port number 8080 is already used. So I say, hey, what is used? So in my system, I don't know which application or which service using port number 8080. So if I type this command, then I say, okay, which application or which service using, you can easily get it from here. Again, it is a network related command. So mostly network folks use this type of command. Clear? Now, let's go back. Let's say how many. So this we talk about wget ps command. So ps command, like if I type ps command, all the process, how many processes is running on my system. pss -ef is a more details. So if I type, look here, it say how many processes is running on my system, who are user ID, process ID, then what that some kind of a timing factor here, and the CMD, what command actually running on that particular command. Okay. So in this case, let's say I want to see pss -ef, then pipe grep. Let's say I'm interested, is there anything called Ubuntu running on this system? Is there any service or any process in the name of Ubuntu? So if it is this, show me what is those. So if I type Ubuntu, now I can say, hey, look, these are the services related to Ubuntu running on my system. Okay. So this is a very handy tool. Sometimes we say, okay, let's say I install a database on my system called Oracle. But now something wrong. It doesn't work. So I say, hey, can you tell me what many process? Then I say, okay, grep Ora. If I type like this, now in this case, he said, no, there is, oh, it found something called auto equal to Ora, right? So if Oracle is running, it will show me that Oracle status there. Okay, or something like if I say, okay, grep db2 as an example. But in this case, he said, no, oh, he said, yeah, so it also found some process called db2, right? So this way, we can easily grab um, some process using the ps command. So ps command kind of a process command. So there is another similar command called top. If you type top command, look, process ID, user, a little more details as you can see. What the command, look, the first one, systemd, that, a different kind of daemon, and each daemon running under which user, how many memory utilization, what is the CPU utilization. We saw similar thing on Windows as well, right? If you open the task manager, and this type of utility will show you the how many those exactly the same information. So Unix also has the same feature. So either you type pss minus ef or just type the top command, whatever it is needed for you, you can easily grab the information from here. Okay, so I press Ctrl Z to terminate this session. Okay, let's move on. What do I say? So top command. So now talk about some administrative command. Let's say I want to create a user, I want to modify that user, I want to change the permission of this user, I change the ownership of this of that user, etc. So these are all. So if I type now, so always remember two file is very much needed in this type of scenario. So one file called etc password file, one is called shadow file. Both are file, and both file is very important file in terms of the administration. So let me draw something for us. So here, and always remember, any kind of interview, if you go, people normally ask this question. So one file is called etc. etc is a folder name, as you know, this is the built-in folder. And under etc folder, there is a file called password. The password file PASSWD, right? So remember this. So this is the file. It keeps all the user information. A system has how many user ID, all those information, you'll find it under this file. So there are two type of user here. One is a system, it has his own user ID. Lot of user ID system created. When you install Linux, it creates a lot of user ID on its own. It is called system ID. On the other hand, the human ID, like so we create an account. Let's say I create a user called like a Mike, I create a user called John, right? I can create a group and I can add user to that group. So all those things we can do it. So it is etc password one file and another file called etc shadow. So remember, because especially these two file is very important in the cybersecurity point of view. Shadow, SHADOW. So these two file is very much important and unneeded in this scenario. Okay, so let's go back. So now this is our lab. So how to create a user? So first of all, let's say I type get etc password. Look, this is all the system ID. Look, sys, then games, man, these are all. But in the bottom, look, there is a user called root. So this is the root, and this is some information about root. And then if I say cat etc dash shadow, this is also another file. It gives all the password information. Look, root, and this is the root where it is. Yeah, so root. So here user equal to Ubuntu, as you can see, and this Ubuntu, this is the hash value of password. Always keep in mind that in any operating system, not only Unix, any operating system, password is stored as a hash format, not a plain text. Maybe password is ABC123, but when it is stored in the system, in the computer, it is always as a hash format. That means encrypted format. Okay. So now this is the password of the hash. So if let's say I'm a hacker, if somehow I can come here, I say, oh, this is the Ubuntu hash value, I can try to decrypt that value. And if I am lucky, I can recover the password, and then I can, using that password, I can exploit the system. So there are two files, etc password and etc shadow. Okay. So let's clear this screen. So I want to create a user. So to create a user there, either I can use user add or add user. Okay, user add, let's say user add, I can give a name. For example, I can say blue team. Blue team. Okay, so I create a user called blue team 01. And he's a blue team. So there is a user created called blue team 01. So what is the password of blue team 01? So if I ask another command called password blue team 01, it will now ask me what is the password. I say, okay, I provide my password, the blue team password, then I confirm. So now I create a user called blue team 01. So now if I open cat etc password file, cat etc password, you should see look at the bottom, blue team 01 user is here, but it contains only the user information, right? But you to see his password, you have to open cat etc shadow. So that shadow at the bottom, look, here's blue team, and this is the password for the blue team, right? Whatever it is, hash format. But again, any hacker need this information, and they can try to decrypt it using their decryption technique. Okay, so this is the two files. So now we learn how to create a user in the Unix system. If I clear the screen here, so let's say I create a user, but I want to add this user to a group. So I think there is a group called cat etc. So this is the, so maybe group only. Here you go. Look, these are all the built-in group on the system, right? Every operating system has a lot of built-in group. Here also it has built-in groups. So now if I want to add this user to some built-in groups or any specific group, how to do that? So the command is called user mod. So my user mod -a -g, and let's say sudo, and then let's say, what is the name? Blue team 01. So here I want to add blue team 01 to a member of the sudo group. Sudo means administrative group. If I want, if everything works, look, it is now connected here. So if I type now id command, id, let's say blue team, I want to see the blue team status. Now you say, okay, look here, read very carefully. He say user id equal to 1001, group id equal to 1001, groups equal to 1001, and also it also member of the sudo. So this blue team 01 is the member of sudo group as well. Okay, so this is the nicer way we can create a user, we can add that user to a particular group, and then that's the way it works. Another nice command like a chh command. So if I say chh blue team 01, so he said, look here, if I say change blue team 01, it's okay, minimum password age. Okay, let me terminate it first. Make the clear screen. So I said, okay, chag, change space -l, and blue team 01. So now you can see it's a last password change this date, password expires never, password inactive never, account expires never, etc. As you can see. So this is a kind of a in Windows, it is something called net user type of command. Like I want to see what is my password policy, right? In this case, the minimum age, maximum age, and like all the default setting. So how to check a default setting password of a specific user? Command is chh, right? So now if I want to change it, so let's say chh change -e, let's say blue team 01, oops, expiration, yeah. So now if I say Then I put so here I have to give look here, if I choose the -C, then it is an expiration, right? E means minus expiration, and set account of expiration date. So I just put a date, let's say 01-01-2025, and then blue team 01. Let's see how it works. It should not take that much time, but it's taking some time, look like. Yeah, so let it finish. So these are the nicer way that we can change the expiration date. Oops, but it cannot lock. Try taken later. Yeah, so cannot lock. I think our etc password file is locked, maybe. I don't know. Because again, it is a cloud, right? So let me. So I just close some window here. Yeah. So yeah, but now you know the command because now it is a so I have to now change this parameter from the cloud so that I'll be able to change this default value, right? Change -E, etc, whatever the file I want, like say E means expiration 01/01/2025, blue team 01, and it will change the password. Let's say now it is called password expiry equal to never. In that, if it is successful, then you say, okay, password will expire on January 1st in 2025. So this is another nice, again, it is like a network people who are working as a network administrator or security officer. Normally they need this type of like a command, okay? Okay, let's move on. So now these are, so if you now look at the most of the command that we talk about, that in the df command is more about related to like a hard disk. So if I type the df command here, like a hard disk related information. So again, the network, let's say how much hard disk is used, how much space is available, etc. The df command normally shows that information for us. Okay. So now let's talk about the Unix file permission. That one of the important topics. In Windows, if you just, before I go to Unix, let's say I go to Windows version first. So if I go to in our Windows system, let's say if I open any file here, let's say this is the file. If I right click, go to the properties, you see there is an option called security. And by default, this security has, look, these are the user or groups. And in the bottom, look, full control, modify, read and execute, read, write. And so by default in Unix, in Windows system, read and execute is enabled, look, allow. Any folder or any file you create in Windows system, by default, read and execute is allowed. Okay, but it is not the same case. So if I want to change it, let's say I want to change, if I click edit option, then I can easily, click these check boxes and click it and change it the parameter if I want. Okay. But in Unix system, as it is not graphical, it is a command line interface, how I can accomplish this goal. So let's say if I go to any folder which has some file, yeah, so here, let's say I have two files here, right? Two txt, this is the file. So now here, to view the file permission in Unix system, the very useful command ls space -l. Always remember, this is the command. It will show you the details of that particular files. So in this case, is I have some folder, some file, it will show me all of them. Look here. Lab 1, this is his permission, the first. Then this the inventory.txt, this is the permission. So now if you look very carefully, you'll see there are 10 characters here. So the first character here, look here, D. So D represent, it is the permission of a directory. That means lab1 is not a file, lab1 is a directory. On the other hand, look, inventory.txt, it places a dash here in the first character, dash. So that means now we learn, if it is a D, then we'll understand this lab1 is a directory, it is not a file. On the other hand, this inventory, there is a dash, that means inventory is a file, it is not a directory. So D represent directory and dash represent it is a file permission. So now out of 10 character, one character we understand. So now we have remaining nine character. Okay. So if we have a 9 character, so let me do some demo here. So if it is a 9 character, so what actually it means? So it means, so let's say, so here dash R W dash R dash dash R dash dash. So here we already understand the first character, right? So dash means it is a file, right? It is a file. If I put here D, that means it is a directory. Okay, so now we have remaining 9 characters. So then you now can group it out. Second, third, and fourth, one group. And then sorry, this one, right? My bad. And this one. Let me can I erase it here? No, maybe. Okay, so let me try with another line. Erase pointer. Oops. Maybe it doesn't work. Anyway, so let me try other way. So I test type it. So dash RW dash R dash dash 2 dash here, right? And then R dash dash. So we are now talking second, third, and fourth, one group. Fifth, sixth, seven is another group. And then 8, 9, 10 is another. So this represent, it is the permission of a user. Then this group, it is a represent of the group. The user belongs to some group, like HR. If I work in the HR department, then I'm a member of HR group. If I work in the accounting department, then I'm a member of the accounting group. And the other one, the last group represent other people in the organization. So now if you look at here R means read permission. Then W means write permission. And X means execute permission. So by default, nobody have execute. Remember in Windows, we saw by default, everybody have execution permission. But in Unix, the execution permission is not present here, even the user, the owner. So the user, by default, you say it has read and write permission. Group has only read permission, and other also has read permission. This is the default Unix setup. If it is a like a file permission. Okay. So now, as there is no mouse in Windows, we just said, let's say I want to provide the execution permission. What are you going to do? You have to right click and then edit and right click and then or double click. Then you can click those check boxes. But here we can't do that because there is no mouse here. So how to accomplish this goal? So you can here we have to learn some technique here now. So here, remember the Unix. So here in this command, you see that RW dash RW here, the first represent the user permission, middle one represent the group permission, and the last one represent the read permission. Okay. So if I know this technique, so now if I go back to my command prompt here, so now let's say inventory. So now I want to change the permission for inventory. Let's say right now, inventory file, the user does not has like execution permission. It has only read and write permission, but no X permission. X means execution. So there is a command available called chmod. Chmod, U plus X. U means user. Plus means provide, give him permission. What permission? X permission. To which file? To inventory.txt. Now, the inventory.txt file will have user have execution permission. Now, if you type ls-l and inventory.txt, you see that now inventory, look, if you compare the previous one, now user has RWX. RWX means read, write, and X permission. Okay, so this is a nicer way we can change the permission to the system or to the file. Similarly, this I want to revoke permission. Chmod to group, like a group or other, let's say O means other, minus R. So right now, other people has read permission. I say no, why entire organization should have access. I want to revoke them. So revoke means minus, provide means plus, and group means G, user means O, U, and other means O. So O minus R to which file? Inventory.txt. Now if you type ls -l and that command, right? Now you can see, look, look last three character is dash dash dash. That means now before other has r dash dash. So r is removed now. No one in the organization has access. So only user has access and the group has access. Let's say he's member of IT. So IT group has read access and the user himself has RWX permission. Okay. So now you learn that how to check the permission of a Unix file system and how to change the permission. So there are multiple ways we can using, but this is also the easiest way you can do it. I can accomplish this goal in other. So let me clear my screen. So chmod, let's say if I type 777, then let's say inventory. This is also another way that to change the permission, inventory.txt. So now if I type ls-l and that command, you can see now everybody have every permission. 7 means read write X. So first 7 represent user, middle one represent the group, and the last one represent the other. So now you can see RWX, RWX, RWX. Everybody have all type of permission read. So if you can say, okay, chmod 764, then inventory.txt. Now let's see what happened. Look, 7 means user. Oops. Yeah, you can type here as well. So if you type this, look here, inventory.txt, 7. So that means user have 7 permissions. 7 means read, write, and execute. Group has 6 permission. That means read and write. And the other has only read permission. So look here, if you now compare with this permission now, look, the RWX, that means user has RWX. Then group has RW dash, that means 6. And other has only 4 permission, that means R permission. See, so I can use both technique, whatever you like it. Okay. So now we learn how to check or view the Unix file system, the permission of the Unix file system, and how to change that file system accordingly. Okay. So this is that's what we discuss in the slide, that how it works. Okay. So now let's talk about the topics about Unix shell script. The reason that we just learned about like how to change the permission, because of let's say now I want to develop a shell script. That means shell script means automation. So let's the use case. Let's say in my company, I am some kind of like a analyst, or I'm an administrator. I want to back up something, or or I want to copy files. There's 1,000 files every day from one computer to another computer. Think that way, right? So I can accomplish this goal typing the command. Now we learn the copy command, right? Copy, source, and target. So I have to type this command every day, right? Every day, Monday I'm typing 100 commands. Tuesday also I'm typing 100 commands. So it's not practical, right? It takes a lot of time and it is not feasible. So how I can automation this thing? Automation means a script. So I can create a file and make that file, execute that file. So now, as we already understood in Unix, that if I create a file, it is not executable. There is no X permission. So that if I want to create a shell script, I have to change the permission and provide that user to execute. So that's why now we learn how to change the permission. Okay. So how to create a shell script? Step 1, I open an editor. So editor, we can use nano editor, we can use vi editor, whatever you like. So nano editor, open it, very easy editor, right? You open it, type your command. So in the shell script, definitely you will not keep any language, right? It will be command. Each line will contain one command. You type the command, save the file, and then execute it. Execute, that means before you execute it, you know already that, oh, before I execute it, it doesn't have execution permission. So I have to change the permission, provide the execution permission, and then finally I run it. So there are 4 steps, right? Step 1, open a editor. Step 2, I write the commands. Step 3, then I provide the permission of that file, like a to execution permission. And step 2, while I run it. So how to accomplish this goal? So let's say very simple shell script. So to do this thing, let's say it is better to create a folder called mkdir script. So it is a best practice because in the real world, definitely I will have to be organized. I say, okay, I create a folder called script, all my script will be there. So I create a script called, let's say, mkdir script, cd, I go to that folder. Now I open nano, let's say my first script called script automation 1.sh, or just to make it simple, like auto.sh, auto1, right? Auto1.sh. It will open a file for me, right? Auto1, the name of the file called auto1.sh. Now I type my command. Let's say I want to run like a, for example, host name, right? All the command, ipconfig, like a maybe date command, maybe cal command, all the command that I know. I just type it here just for demo purpose. So step 1, I open in kind of an editor, type my command what I want, right? Step 2, then step 3, I save it, right? Control X, Y. Now, if I change the, like check the permission first, like ls space -l, we know how to check the permission, auto 1.sh, it will show me the permission of that file, right? You say, okay, look here, auto1, it doesn't have execution permission. It just said read and write permission. So now step 3, I have to give him the permission, chmod u+x, and the file name is auto1.sh. Now if I check the permission, you see now it has a read, write, and execution permission. So step 3 is done. Now I want to run it, execute it. And so in Unix, how to run a shell script? /file name. So you have to put dot, then slash, and file name. File name is auto1.sh. Now all the command will execute automatically one by one. Oops, I think I typed the wrong thing. Auto1, right? .sh. I think I put 01. Oops. He say, oh, oh, it ran it actually. I didn't read properly. So it ran. Look, it showed the output of the date command, right? But he say it all the host name command. But he say command no ipconfig not found. I think I misspelled. So I go back again and auto1.sh. You can easily correct it here. So yeah, that's correct, because in Unix there is nothing called IP. It will be ifconfig, right? ifconfig, yeah. So hostname, ifconfig, date, and cal. So I'm expecting 4 command here, output, right? Control X, Y, enter. So now if I run it, /auto1.sh, right? Now here you go. So you see right now, the first he execute the host name. Second, he execute the ipconfig, ifconfig. This is the output of the date command. And cal command, I think Unix does not, in this version of Ubuntu, does not support the cal command. So that's fine, it doesn't support it. So now we learn how to create a basic shell script. Very important interview question. How to develop a shell script. Step 1, open an editor like a nano or by editor. Type the command, type the code, or type the program, whatever we needed. Once it is done, we save the file, and by default, Unix does not have execution permission of that file. We have to provide him that file execution permission by typing chmod, then u+x, and that file name. Once the file has the execution permission, then step number 4, we run the script by /file name. If everything looks good, that file will be executed now. Whatever command I type on this file, everything will be executed one by one. That's the basic principle of shell script. Okay, so now as we now learn what is the formula to develop a shell script, now we are going to be like a kind of a developer now, right? So we can enhance these skills. So in this case, if you practice some lab, or there are a lot of information, you can figure it out. So let me show you a couple of them. So here. So before we maybe go one step further, so in Unix command, we have to what the way that I showed you, very basic way, right? But in let's say I want to be programming point of view. So in the programming language, there are something very important called variable. So what is a variable? Let's say I'm a programmer. I am writing my code. So to run a code, the first thing that I have to understand what is actually a variable. And another thing we can ask ourselves, okay, this program running where? In the computer, where it is running actually. So in computer, whatever is in running, everything running on the memory, in the RAM. So RAM is our memory, the hard disk, like it is a kind of a hardware, right? So if you go to Google and ask the Google, hey, Google, how the memories look like? I'm not sure how many of you guys ever see the memory, right? So if you go to Google here, so if you go here and just type computer memory, just see how it's look like. What is the picture, right? And go to the image, right? And you can see the memories look like this. This is the memory. This is a storage area where computer, all the, like what you can running on the computer, everything is here now. So it is basically, you can, in a plain English, you can say it is a container. You have a container, right? In container contains something, right? Container contains water, container contains, let's say, a basket contain like an apple, orange juice, etc., right? Whatever you want, it contain into that basket. So similarly, as we know, the operating system will contain the digital language, digital. So where it holding? It holding into a memory. So now there is a concept called variable. So what is variable? Variable is a space within the memory where it contains the data that developer wants to contain, right? So to declare a variable, let's say I say x equal to 5. So in this case, when I say x equal to 5, so the name of the variable called x and its value equal to 5. So that means basically I create a container within that memory, and that container equal to, then I give his name called x and its value equal to 5. So now question is that within this container, what type of data I'm going to place? So there are different type of data, like integer data 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can put like a maybe character type of data, like a New York, Virginia, Toronto, etc. So, or I can put the date, like a 01/01/1995. And I can put the dollar value, like, okay, maybe let's say I create a variable called salary equal to 10,000. So now variable name equal to salary, but the value equal to 10,000, right? So this way, I can, the data that I'm keeping within that container, or in other words, within that variable, those data has different type, integer type, like a character or a string type, like a date and time type, maybe like a currency type. Currency means like a dollar value, right? Of 1,000, 2,000, etc. But different type of data has different type of like a data. So if I go to my Unix system here, let's say if I say just give a name, let's say integer x equal to, let's say 10, right? Oops, it doesn't support. Okay, let's just type x equal to 10 here. So if you type x equal to 10, and now you can say, okay, so now basically when I say just x equal to 10, it actually create a container for me within that memory, the name equal to x and its value equal to 10. Now to see the value of a variable, we have to use the dollar sign. What is inside of x? Let's say I want to see, I want to tell my code or my program, okay, you open that container and whatever the inside of it, show me that information. So we already know there is the echo command. If I say echo $x, if I type echo $x, now, this is, I still remember like a 20 years before when I first learning Unix, I was really confused. Hey, we normally know a dollar sign means it is a prompt, but here now dollar sign, But in this case, $sign actually it is not a prompt. It is to see the value of a variable because I already declare a variable called X. Now to see its value called $X. So if I show it now show me the 10. It says, oh, your value equal to 10. Okay. So that's the beauty of this system, like a how we can see the like a value of a variable. Okay. So now this is one thing. Second thing is that like the different kind of a like a mathematical equation here. Let's say like a logical operator or arithmetic operator. So in mathematical calculation point, let's say I have a two variable X and Y. X equal to 50, Y equal to let's say 40. So now I say, okay, I want to compare between these two variables. X equal to Y, or X is less than Y, or X is greater than Y. So in Unix system, there is a specific syntax on that. So in this syntax, you have to, because it is not only Unix, any programming language like a Java, C++, every programming language has something like this. So you have to use equal, look here, operator, minus EQ not equal to, minus GT means greater than, minus L3 means less than, minus G means greater than or equal to, and minus L is mean less than or equal to. These are the mathematical or arithmetic operator. Okay. Similarly, it has, so look here, I write a program here. Let's say I open a note like an editor, like any nano editor, and I type this command like a salary equal to 10, expense equal to 800. Then I say if salary equal to expenses. Look, I put $sign here, right? Because salary equal, it is a variable. So I declare two variables. One is salary, one is expense. So I make a logic. This is the way how program works. It's a if $salary equal to $expense, then show me, echo, show me salary expense are equal. Else, if salary is not equal to expense, look, this is a not equal to sign. Okay. So equal to sign, they use double equal sign here, as you can see, right? If it is not equal to, then show me this. So either you show me this output or this output. There are two echo here, right? So this is the nice conditional expense, like a condition. Okay, if it is match my condition number one, show me this output. If it doesn't match with the condition, that show me the second output, right? So this is a very great feature how to programming works here. I hope, guys, I think up to this today, I'll make another video for shell scripting. This is very basic shell scripting technique. Okay, so at least try to develop some of your knowledge and script, how it works. And then we'll make another specific video for shell script, and it will carry like some advanced level thing. So now let's recap what we discussed in this Unix Bootcamp Part 2. We talk about some advanced level Unix commands and utilities. Then we also talk about Unix file permission, how to change the file permission, how to view the file permission. And then finally, we talk about how to develop a Unix shell script and how to execute that shell script. That's it for today. I hope everybody enjoyed. Thank you, everyone.